What's going on? This is Shamus with the Educate to Elevate podcast. This is actually episode 6. I got my man Mike Hustle out of Texas. This is my guy here. I'm going to let him introduce himself because the industry knows what he does. He's a vet. He's the man. Mike, what's going on, my brother?
Bro, I want to begin anything, man. I appreciate you having me on this podcast, man. It means a lot for you to reach out to me. So you hit me up. I know we make it happen. As soon as I saw that text message, I was telling you, man, I haven't done a podcast in a long time, man. But when I saw your name, I was like, bro, let me put this on the calendar. How you doing? You good?
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, man. Just taking it day by day here in Atlanta, man. Trying to grind it up. Trying to turn up the hustle, man. Trying to turn up the hustle.
One step at a time. I appreciate that, man. How's the ATL?
ATL's good, man. The market is crazy right now. You know, the market is crazy everywhere. Atlanta, we got all of the hedge funds here. You know, we're just trying to bang out them deals, man, and just try to get to them 1,000 transactions like my man Mike got right here.
Took a minute, man. It took a minute, but we're going to make it happen, man. One, again, bro, I appreciate you said this podcast number 6.
Yeah.
Educate to Elevate, man. I'm on for you guys on IG, I'm on boy. Shamus has Educate to Elevate. Man, I'm excited, bro. Let's get this started, man. How we doing? Good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's jump right into it. So I met you, it was about like 3 years ago, right? Now about 2.5, 3 years ago, right?
Time flies, man. Time flies.
And the first place I seen you was on the Steve Trang's podcast.
Steve Trang,
and when you was exactly when you was talking, I was like, man, this is way over my head. He's talking about not needing no money, you know, to take houses down. So let's talk a little bit about that. The creative finance. I know you're a master at that. You and your team and Charles. So let's talk a little bit about what creative finance is and how people can utilize that when they don't really have credit.
Okay, one, man, shout out Steve Trang, man. That dude took podcasts to the next level. A lot of people got to network and got to know who's who throughout the nation because for a long time, me and my boy, man, we're just here in Texas working. Then we start the Steve Trang podcast, Real Estate Disruptors. Oh, you got this dude doing this kind of style. You got lease options. You got creative financing. You got people doing wholesaling, doing 7 figures a year. I was like, okay, that's cool, man. So, but yeah, shout out Steve Trang. So like you said, bro, for those who don't know me, my name is Mike Giannis. I go by AKA Mr. Hustle. My slogan is turn up the hustle. So no matter what you do, no matter how many deals you're doing, if you're doing 1 deal a month, turn up the hustle and do 2. If you're doing 2 deals a month, turn up the hustle and do 5. If you're wholesaling and you got that money right, well, turn up the hustle and start capitalizing on flips, start making money on your money, start flipping houses, do more. You know, that's the thing, man. Turn up the hustle. Yes. But you're talking about creative financing.
Yes.
For those who don't know, man, creative finance is my thing, man. I love creative financing. And we do a lot here in this office. And probably here in a minute, I'll turn the camera around so you can see the office. You can see everyone doing their thing here. But out of all the stuff that we do, we wholesale, we flip, Airbnb, rentals. My number one thing, sub-2s, man. Sub-2s in creative financing. And I think when we did that Steve Trang podcast, a lot of people hit us up, man. How are you buying houses with no credit check? How are you buying houses with no banks? How are you buying houses with no income check? And when we break it down, it just makes sense, man. And it's called Subject 2. Ideally, it's Subject 2. Subject 2 is a lot what we do, but we also do creative financing. I like to call it 2 different things, you know? It's Subject 2, and then there's creative financing. Subject 2 is a simple platform, simple avenue of approach. Creative finance is where you go above and beyond instead of just Subject 2, man.
Yeah, having a lot of different strategies because everything won't be a subject to it. Maybe a lease option or something along that lines. It was funny. I remember when Steve was like, because Steve was like, yo, I'm vetting everybody. And I asked Charles for HUDs and he sent me like 50 or 100 HUDs.
That was like the most iconic, man. Someone even did a rap song. One of our old boys did a rap song. And that was actually on the most iconic lines because you guys don't know Steve Trang. Steve Trang wants to vet everybody. I think there was a little mishap. Somebody was probably saying something about, hey, I do this many deals. Kind of find out that individual wasn't from what I heard. So then he started vetting people, right? And you got to be vetted to be on the Steve Trang podcast. You got to see those HUDs. So when we submitted the HUDs, and we said like, hey, man, just give them all of this year's, you know? Boom. So when Steve Trang opened it up, it took him a minute to download the HUDs.
Yeah.
2, and that was the iconic line, man. HUD after HUD after HUD, and he saw it, man. So I like to say we're vetted through Steve Trang, man. We're good to go. And, you know, that's what we do.
That's what's up. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Where were you raised? Like, where were you born? Where were you raised at? And like, tell me a little bit about like your background, because I know you're military, right? You ex-military. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
So tell us a little bit about like how you was brought up, how you came up, and a little bit about your background.
I break it down, man. So, man, we're down here in San Antonio, right? So down here in Texas. And when I was young, man, my dad, had a lot of kids. He had a lot of kids. I'm actually kid number 7 of 9. I call it lucky number 7, right? So kid 7 of 9. And, my dad's from Mexico, right? He came over here, man, to the United States for a better life, right? My mom's actually hard of hearing, right? So I know sign language. I can have a full-blown conversation in sign language using ASL. And as a matter of fact, I did a deal with someone who was deaf, man. We did the whole contract all in sign language. So my parents come from humble beginnings, right? 7 of 9 kids, so money wasn't there. Thanks. So what I like to say is, man, we used to shop at Goodwill, right? And I would wear the hand-me-downs. But I consider Goodwill hand-me-downs. I would wear the hand-me-downs to the hand-me-downs. What that means is my older brother, who's 1 year older than me, he would get clothes from the Goodwill. And then when he's done, I would get them. So I got the hand-me-downs to the hand-me-downs, man. And, being 7 or 9 kids, I was like, bro, this ain't for me. I got to do something different, Shout out to my parents. They did what they could with humble beginnings, right? My dad coming from Mexico, not English not being his first language, my mom being deaf, hard of hearing, having a hard time getting full, good income in life, and just giving us the best we deserve. So I was like, man, I got it, man. I'm gonna go join the Army. Okay. So 3 days after high school, man, went straight to the United States Army. And I did 12 years. Yeah, I did 12 years, man.
Yeah, that's a bid right there. That's a long time to do.
It's a long time.
What made you go from so most individuals, if you're in the military, you're going in the military, it's discipline, you want stability and everything. What made you when you came out of the military to say, you know what, now I'm going to be an entrepreneur?
Man, that's the perfect example, man. The question was, I joined the Army, right? I joined the Army. I did what I did. What made me do after 12 years, get out the Army and do what I'm going to do? This is what it did for me. So the more I hustled, it was my thing. Can you hear me, Shamus?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got you.
All right. For some reason, I don't see your camera, but I'm going to roll with it, okay?
Okay, yeah. You can keep going. So,
man, in the Army, when I first joined the Army, man, I was told I was going to get salary, right? And that salary was 35 grand. So when I got my first paycheck, I was like, man, I made it, man. 35 grand, I'm out the hood. I made it. I got benefits. I called back home, said, hey, we made it. We're good, man. That $35,000 going to take us a long way. But, I mean, you don't know what you don't know, right? So I hustled hard in the Army. The more I hustled, the end of the year, I still got $35,000. I went to Iraq, and I was there for 15 months, put my life on the line, getting shot at, got blown up at. And the more I hustled in Iraq, $35,000. I was like, man, no matter what I do, I got myself into a salary position where I'm in the Army, I'm going above and beyond, I'm going to war, I'm still getting paid $35,000. So when I first heard about real estate, it was actually to my wife, man. My wife, you guys don't know, her stepdad is actually my business partner, and that's Charles. He goes by Uncle Charles. You there, Shamus?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just want to make sure because the camera's off. So
yeah, I don't know why the camera's off. I don't know why it's off on my end, but I could see you and everything.
Okay. So when I met Charles, he's like, hey, man, what are you going to do after the Army? I was like, bro, I'm in the Army for 20 years, man. So I got all these tats, right? So all these tats, man, I haven't got a tattoo in over 10 years. But the reason I got them was because, hey, I'm going to do the Army 20 years. And in the Army, as long as you don't have no tattoo on your neck or on your hands, you're good to go. So I got tatted up, right? Coming from the lifestyle we grow from, He's like, hey, man, become a realtor. And, I help you make some realty money. I said, man, I ain't trying to become no realtor, man. I'm in the Army. I got to go in at 5 a.m. I got to run 2-3 miles every morning. I got to do push-ups, sit-ups. I got to change. I got to work. By the time I get off, I ain't trying to, real estate. I'm good. So he kept hitting me up. And then he finally told me, hey, I'll pay for you to become a realtor. And, if someone's going to give out money, I take every opportunity I can.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
So I was like, okay, let me look into it, right? Let me look into it. I got my realtor license. I went through the motions. And when I did my first deal, the realtors pay 3% commission, right?
Yeah.
So when I did my first deal, it was like a $200,000 house. I made $6,000. I said, bro, I made $6,000. That one deal was more than Army salary of a month's pay.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
And at that point, I was already in the Army like 8 years. So that one deal made more Army money. I was like, okay, I'm going to do 2 deals. The next month, I did 2 deals. Now we're talking about $12,000 in 1 month, plus the Army pay. Now I'm making about 20 G's a month. I was like, okay, that's when it hit me. That's when my mindset changed from, hey, I'm used to salary, but the more I turn up the hustle, the more I'm going to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, a lot of people don't know this. My first year, I did 55 transactions as a realtor. 55 transactions as a realtor while I was still active duty in the Army, because that thing hit my mindset. And to me, money's the motive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And not a lot of. I think it was a good question, man. I like that question. What changed your mindset from being in the Army, getting that salary to, all right, I'm going to go do my own thing?
Yeah, because when you talk to most people, they're in one lane. Right. They're like, I'm an employee, I get a paycheck, and I'm like, but you do realize that you could take that same 40 hours and probably make 10 times the money doing something that you're passionate about. I was talking to my son, and I was telling him, my youngest is 18.
Okay.
My oldest is 27, and I got a daughter. She's actually National Guard in military too.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is I asked him, I said, what's the difference between you making $10 an hour and an attorney making $1,000 an hour? He's like, I don't know. I said, skill set.
Skill set, man.
That's
it right there. Yeah.
That's the skill set. I was like, people complain about making more money. All you got to do is study a more expensive skill set that's going to make more money from you, become an expert at it, get obsessed with it, and then go into that field. It's not hard to make more money.
It ain't. It ain't. People think it is, man. It ain't. And I like that, Shamus. That line right there is a banger itself, man. Whether you're doing 1 hour flipping burgers or you do 1 hour flipping houses, you're still going to put in that work. How much is your worth? You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's the same. Yeah. It's the same 60 minutes.
It's the same 60 minutes. Just get your mind right. Get your money right.
Exactly. He's getting paid a rack, and you're getting paid $10 an hour or $12 an hour. I know for me, and I said this on one of my previous podcasts, I only had like six jobs in my entire life, and none of them last longer than like 90 days.
6 jobs? Let me count mine, man. My mom in high school put me in some type of after-school program during the summer, so I started working like at 13, 14 years old. That was like a school program. My first job was McDonald's.
Okay.
Second job was Target. Third job was Army. And now 4 has been real estate, man. Real estate and real estate investing.
Oh, yeah. And then once you got that entrepreneur spirit, bro, there's no going back.
Ain't like getting up and doing your own thing, My brother, I talk to my brother all the time, and he has a hourly job. I was like, man, I don't ever see myself going back to an hourly job.
Never.
Myself personally, to each their own. For everyone who's watching this podcast, to each their own. But for me personally, with my mindset, my motive, the money, the entrepreneur, the domination, the performance, bro, I'm ready to make it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
Yeah.
Question: do you remember your first deal?
Yeah, loud and clear, man. My first deal. So for those who don't know what wholesaling is, I would assume everyone knows what wholesaling is watching this podcast. But for some reason, if you don't, as being a traditional realtor, I consider that business. I consider that business. I don't consider it a deal. Someone came up to me, hey, I want to buy a house, sell a house. Cool, you go through the motions. So after I did a realtor, I did pretty well my first couple of years as a traditional realtor, right? I got recognized with the mayor. You got all these kind of awards. But then, once that money came in, now my money was stacking, right? Because remember, I'm still getting Army pay, right? So no matter what, I was still getting my Army pay every month, about 6 G's. You close 2 deals a month, that's about 12 G's. So I was averaging about 20 grand a month, right?
Okay.
So to me, I was like, bro, okay, now I'm on a different level. I'm making 20 G's a month. I'll be honest with you, though, Shamus. I'll be honest with you, bro. I spent that money, man. I spent that money. Clothes, Gucci, let me go buy that next Rollie. I spent that money. And eventually, once I had it out of my system, because I think that's important, people want to work. Right. Do you want to work and hold on to that money? If you do, by all means do it. If you want to work and blow it, I say, you're probably not going to hear this from any other guru or entrepreneur. If you want to make that money, you want to spend it, I say, go ahead.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Get it out of your system. Mm-hmm. Once it's out of your system, then get your mind right. That's what happened to me. That's what happened. I got that money. I'm buying cars, I'm buying clothes, I'm buying shoes, the Balenciagas, the Rollies, the jewelry. Then I was like, all right, I blew my money. Let me get my mind right. So once we got a bunch of realty deals, I was like, man, we started flipping houses. And that's one of my first deals. One of my first two deals. I consider my first flip and my first wholesale. Okay. My first wholesale is when we first heard about it, man. When we first heard about wholesale about 7-8 years ago, I was like, man, you tell me what? If you guys aren't clear what wholesale is I'm going to tell the seller, hey, seller, I'll give you $100,000 for your house. Mm-hmm. It has to be a good formula. The numbers have to make sense. And then I will find a flipper or a buyer who wants to find their next deal. Hey, flipper, buyer, I got this house for $120,000. You buy the house and you do what you do. You'll make your own money. The seller's happy. I'm happy. So the buyer will come to the table 120, 20 will go to the seller, and we make $20,000. Yep. So I was like, you telling me we can do that? Mind you, as a realtor, are you sure? Yeah. Because I'll go out there and I'll go find some deals.
Facts.
So I want to talk about my first deal. My first deal, it was back in the day. Back then, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, man, Podio, SMS, TPC, call tools, ZenCall, that wasn't around, man. You got a notebook and a piece of paper, man. 8, 9 years ago, you got a notebook and a piece of paper. So what we did is I would get the mortgage foreclosure, right? Me and Charles. Okay. We got the mortgage foreclosure, and we went old school, man. We knocked on the doors. It wasn't skip tracing back then. ATL, where you're at, and Arizona, I want to say Arizona's like the mecca of wholesale. Yeah. One, got all the gurus there. Yep. Two, all those people came together to create systems like, you got skip trace, you got batch, you got this. So they all came together. Everyone else was kind of behind the times for us to catch up. So we knocked on doors, right? That first deal, man, this is my first wholesale deal. I knocked on the door. This older gentleman opened up the door, and we did small talking. And I said, hey, I'm here to buy houses. I never like to say, hey, I know you're getting foreclosed. What you trying to do? Yeah. I act like I don't know if they're getting foreclosed. Once they bring it up on their own, and I was like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm aware of that. Let them know I did my homework. Right? So I knocked on the door. Yeah. And when I knocked on the door, this is the saddest part, man. And this being my first deal. They were living inside the house with no water and no light. Like, legit. They got a water hose to the neighbor's yard, and they would fill up buckets of water, take it to their house. And I swear to you, man, they had an extension cord from their house across the street. The house across the street was letting them one plug. So they had a long orange extension, and they would post a little small fridge, a little small toaster oven, and that's how they were living, man. So I walked into that house. I was like, man, this ain't right, man. You guys got to do something. 2, I'm here to help, I'm here to help do what you got to do. Not only do I want to buy the house, but I'm here to help, man. And we got that deal done. It was an old gentleman, if I can recall, man, early 70s. He was a veteran, right? Oh, man. And what we did is we went above and beyond, man. And for everyone's watching that's a wholesaler, our first wholesale deal, what we did was I took that veteran, we got him in contact to the VA, right? So he can get his benefits because he had some medical issues. 2, we hooked him up on Meals on Wheels. Okay. Because he didn't have the money, So we hooked him up with Meals on Wheels. Now they were feeding him on a daily basis. And we took that, the profits that he made, got him to an apartment complex where it was all bills paid. That was in his budget, man.
That's a blessing. And
first wholesale deal.
You know what's crazy that you say that? Mm-hmm. I know I don't really talk about this a lot, but in 2018, that was like one of the lowest points in my life. Like we basically was living in a property that was in foreclosure, and we was living off a generator. And I got the videos and everything. Like we had the generator with plugs going inside the house. We had no water because we was on a well, and a tree fell and took the power line out from the top of the house, and we had no electricity. Like I was going to real estate meetups, driving a Honda Odyssey van that didn't go in reverse. Like I had to push it. I would wait till neutral. I had to put it in neutral and back it up and then go out that way. But I remember somebody driving up my driveway basically to talk to me, and I was like, yo, get off my property. I didn't know that somebody could help us. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? And that reminds me, I was knocking on doors. This was right before COVID. I pulled up at this lady's house. She was in a driveway. She had a hood pop. And I said, hey, Mrs. Such and Such, I said, my name is Shamus. I said, I'm here to talk to you about this property. I know that it's potentially going into auction next month and I can help you out.
Right.
And she looked at me and bro, just started crying and hugged me.
That's crazy.
It took all my energy. I couldn't knock on no more doors for the day. I'm like, that's it. She sucked the soul right out of me, but it's a blessing to have people like yourself come in and you got to tell people like, this is a situation that I can help you out of, so that's a God-given, spirit, the go-giver. I know you're the go-giver and everything, man. So that's definitely
true, man. I mean, a lot of people ask me, how do you guys get so successful? And my thing is, when you're talking to these sellers, man, someone losing a home, you legit got to help them first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we legit try to help them first. Now, of course, we want to make a profit because we're investors and this is our business, this is the way we live. But the number one goal is to get them, help them. Like that one, Meals on Wheels, the VA, getting them set up, finding them an apartment complex, helping people move, getting them U-Hauls. That's above and beyond, man. That's what makes the difference between us and, I don't want to say another wholesaler because everyone should be doing that, man. But
yeah.
I mean, people could genuinely tell if this dude trying to get my money, he's trying to get something out of me, or he's really trying to help.
Yeah, and I think that goes a long way when you're trying to really help somebody and you're trying to solve a problem, you're going to get rewarded, especially if you're not looking like that's not your main goal. I'm going to go in there and make the biggest bag I can make off of them. It may not be there. And then, what I think karma comes back around and you may be in that position one day and you're going to pray for somebody to come and help you instead of trying to take advantage of you.
Right. Man, I hear it all the time, man. I hear it all the time on Facebook or TikTok. I tell you right now, man, TikTok's rough, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Comments on TikTok, man. Anyone watching me on man, hey, I'm doing this. Oh, scam artist. Man, I'm trying to help you guys,
Yeah, facts.
I'm really legit helping a person. Oh, you ain't tell us the truth. So, to each your man. Push out the negativity. Do what you do. Turn up the hustle.
Bro, it's funny. I posted a video of me and my wife down in Atlanta feeding the homeless, right? And somebody went under there and was like, racial. I'm like, racial? Like, where did you get that from? Like, I'm helping people and they're like racially motivated. I'm like, dude, come on, man. And that was on TikTok.
So I tell you, TikTok's crazy, man. My thing is, from now on, what I've been doing is, someone does something like that. Hey, man, hustle inspires hustle. Either have it or you don't. So if I ain't inspiring you, ain't got the hustle, bro. Move on.
Facts.
That's my thing, man.
Question: do you read a lot,
bro? I'll be honest with you, man. I got the books. I don't know if you can see. Now you can't see from there. But I got the books, and reading is tough for me, bro. I'll be honest.
I'm an audio person. I'm an audio.
I'm an audio person than reading a book, man. And the handful of books I read, I've really helped out, man. Just one. Man, I'll be honest with you, it's a little low on my priority, and I'm gonna lie on here and say, man, I read books a day, and like you're supposed to, man. I don't read books.
What's your favorite book that you read that inspired you?
I gotta read it. The most book that really would probably change your mindset. Let me get my 3 books right here, bro. Let me get my book.
Okay.
You ain't gonna believe my books, bro. And we talk about inspiring. And the one I don't have is because someone took it, right? Which is Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's probably the most common answer for anyone ever heard of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Man, that's Robert Kiyosaki. That's probably number one, right?
Yep.
Number one, get your mindset right. Because I'll be honest with you, even I was doing this like 4 years in real estate, and then I read that book. I was like, okay, yeah, it makes better sense.
Yeah.
So Rich Dad Poor Dad is probably the most, from what I hear, right? Because the way this office is structured, man, we got about 20 people in the office, right? We got Charles, we got myself. My right hand man is Frank. He's the CEO. He's all about books too, and he does like traction, right? And that's another book. But the books I got in my office, man, ain't normal books, man. I got the Gucci Man Guide to Greatness. You see what I mean? The Gucci Man Guide to Greatness.
Got you.
And it's all gold, right? Next, I got Hustle Harder, the 50.
50. Okay.
My books ain't probably the same books as Rich Dad,
everybody else.
Traction and Gary Vee and Grant Cardone. My book's a little different, man, but it's all the same thing, bro. It's all the same thing. Open up your mindset, apply concepts, man, and do it to your life and do it to your business.
Exactly. Explain your operation. Like, tell me exactly, like you said, you got 20 people. How many acquisition managers, how many dispos, how many deals you guys are doing?
Yeah. Okay. So Charles and I, we started about 10 years ago, right? Okay. We started about 10 years ago. And we did our first wholesale deal. When we did our first wholesale deal, I was like, bro, this is legit, This is legit. We can do this. And how do we scale? right? So when we did our first deal, as a matter of fact, it actually came from flipping houses, man. When we started flipping houses, we were flipping a lot of our own money, right? Because I'm talking about the operation. We're flipping a lot of our own money.
Okay.
And when we're flipping a lot of our own money, we had these deals where I was flipping houses, we're doing our own deals. And then remember that first wholesale deal I was telling you about?
Uh-huh.
It's like, bro, we got this house, but we got too many flips going on. Let's try this wholesale. I heard about wholesale. Let's give it a shot. So when we did our first wholesale deal, made like $5-6 grand. I was like, cool. We made X amount of dollars by doing a wholesale deal. No money, right? Nothing out of pocket. With $10 earnest money. And, we made $5-6 grand. Cool. Let's go back to flipping. Another deal popped up. I was like, bro, let's try this wholesale again. And then the second one was like 15-20 grand. So, man, we're making 20 grand on wholesale deals. Well, here we are flipping houses, and it's a lot of work. Time, contractors, efforts, private money, trying to find lumber, all that good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. You put on the market, you get showings, inspection goes on, and then you finally get an offer, and then it takes 35 days to close. Versus a wholesale will take us 2 weeks, and we get paid.
Yep.
So I was like, you know what? So we went from a lot of flips to now we're gonna let's just wholesale, man. Mm-hmm. So when we started wholesale, it was me and Charles, and then we started scaling, right? We started scaling, and the question was, how does the operations look today? The operations today is me and Charles. Charles is right next to me as the CEOs. Got Frank, who's my COO, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We probably got about 12 acquisitions, right?
Nice.
12 acquisition agents, 3 dispo, COO, in-house social media guy, and that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, your in-house social media guy be going crazy. I was looking at your videos yesterday. I'm like, damn, man, I got to step my game up. He got it crazy over there.
Yeah, he really focused a lot on my TikTok, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's
we
up.
did the in-house social media. And, but yeah, man, but there's more to it. We can't do what we do without the team. And our team, we make 1 million calls a month.
Wow. Like what does your lead flow look like coming in? Like how many cold callers do you have?
And then here in a minute, before the podcast is over, man, I'll switch the camera so you can see the operation, man. Because I can see the whole view of the office. I can see how many people are calling. We got KPIs on how much lead time they're getting, how much phone time they're getting, how much offers are being made per individual, how much minutes per individual, how many answers per individual. It's all broken down to KPIs, so that's important in the business. Yeah.
Very important.
So the deal goes down like this, right? We'll pull a list. We'll use something like batch leads, right? If you guys haven't used batch leads, you can use it. I got a link in my bio to get 5,000 free records, right? So you get your 5,000 records, pull high equity, low equity, whatever you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. Most people go high equity, absentee only, right? Because they figure if someone wants to sell, it's free and clear for the most part. So we take that, we skip traces like everyone else, and then we dump it to our system. When we dump it to our system, then we actually have in-house cold calling, Americans, right? Because people do VAs and some people don't. We got VAs as well, but we like in-house cold callers. So we actually got in-house lead gen, right? Calling up the leads. And when they get the lead, depending on the individual, whether it's junior acquisition or senior acquisition, they'll either give the lead and they'll pass it off to a closer or they'll do it themselves, right? And the way we do it here, bro, is the first offer is cash, right? We're trying to offer cash. No matter what it is, offer cash. If they don't want cash for whatever reason, because it's a low ball offer, the second thing we'll do is we'll do subject to. And everyone here is trained to answer those questions. Okay. So we don't let a lead go by. We'll take the first is cash, second is sub 2. Mm-hmm. If sub 2 doesn't work, because that is a hard pitch, right? The third one will be creative financing, owner financing, some type of owner financing or something along the ways.
Okay.
The fourth will be an ovation.
No, I was just going to ask you, you doing the innovations? I knew it was coming.
And if that don't work, the fifth, hey, let us refer you to our sister company, which is Home Item Selling Realty, which is a brokerage, and I'm the broker, and we'll list our property for them, man. So we're going to try to get that one lead, and hey, we want to do cash, sub 2, owner financing, creative financing, innovation, and not let's list it for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I kind of do the same thing when I'm talking to a homeowner. I give them the cash offer. Mm-hmm. The second one, which is the novation, I call it, and I got this from my guy Corey, a concierge service. I call it the concierge service. And then the last one is, hey, I could just list the property for you. You know what I'm saying? What was you saying? You was about to say something about the leads when they come in?
Corey, man, shout out Corey, man. I think that dude took novations to a whole nother level, man. So shout out Corey, watch this. Yeah. So they're in a contract, right? The whole thing, we use Podio. And when it goes to Podio, we actually have an in-house transaction coordinator. And her name's Cecilia. Cecilia, she'll clear the title. And right when the title's about to be cleared, probably about 90%, she'll then push it to Dispo. Dispo will then get pushed out. We got a huge buyers list. We got our VIP buyers. We'll get it sold, and when the deal gets sold, everyone gets happy. We'll ring the bell. We spin the wheel. We get a prize, and let's move on to the next deal.
Yes, sir.
Last month we got 28 contracts.
Yes, I'm trying to get there, bro. I'm gonna have to come down and see you guys down there and see what you got going.
Come on down. People ask me, bro, how you guys? The system works. No, we got 28 contracts. Those 28 contracts, I think projections is 475,000.
That's nice, man. That's nice. Well, you got a team, man, and it definitely takes time to build a good team and to get everybody on the same page and the same vision as you.
People usually ask me, man, whenever I do a podcast or something, man, people usually ask me, man, how do you do what you do? And, of course we can't do nothing without the team, right? And we got people here, everyone's still here making calls, but I think the number one thing is the culture we have here, man. People ask, that's usually the number one question people ask me, man. How do you have such a good team that stay there? Everyone's commission only. People show up at 9. People go home at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and they have the hustle. They have the hustle. They get the culture here. And so just shout out to everyone on my team, man.
Yeah, and that's important. The culture is really, really important for a company. Like you have to, when you got employees that's going to get there before you and stay after you, it's because they know that they have a future with you and that you generally want to take care of them. You know what I'm saying? So I know I've been seeing you doing a lot with boxing and stuff like that. Tell me, I think I seen you in the ring. Was it last night? How you affiliated with the boxing and stuff like that?
So the boxing, man, and nightclubs, I'll be honest with you, man, I've been doing real estate for about 10, 11 years. And not that I'm bored of it, man. But I'm kind of bored of it, right? In a way, right? In a way. Charles and I, we've done over 1,000 transactions, man, 1,000 wholesale deals. We've done hundreds of flips. We have houses all over Texas. Talk about your first question about creative financing and subject twos. And we bought houses sight unseen. I'm in San Antonio, so we bought houses in Laredo, Corpus, El Paso, Killeen, Waco. I'm buying a house in Houston. At this point, man, if the numbers are right, we don't even see them no more, man. We just buy them and do what we do with them.
Yeah.
So we got that going on. We got small multifamily. Charles and I were passive investors on 429 units apartment complex.
Nice.
So we got that going and just money coming in. So my thing was, man, I want to do something more, man. I want to do something a little different. So I just exploring, And that boxing thing, a buddy of mine puts it together for San Antonio. And we're just sponsors, right? We sponsor, we put on the city. Of course, they give us shout outs and promotions and hey, FYI, guys, HPHS buys houses cash. And so they're promoted as well. And in the club scene, the nightlife, man, that's exciting to me, man. The nightlife is exciting to me. A good buddy of mine has one of the best clubs in town, hottest spot right now, and makes good money. It's a good environment. It's different than all the other clubs, and that's actually one of the routes I probably want to go to be honest with you.
And it's so funny. I come from the music industry.
Yeah, I know we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, exactly. I come from the music industry, so I know those late nights we used to be on tour going from one club to another club to another club. So music, that's my love, man. And eventually I'm going to wind up going back to music.
Yeah.
Once I get the real estate where I wanted to go, music is where I want to head back to. Let me ask you a question. For anybody that's trying to get into real estate that may not have nobody around them that has a vision of entrepreneurship, what would you tell them?
Bro, I get that question asked a lot, man, especially on TikTok, right? When you post those videos, how do I get started? And I was showing some of my phone the other day, and I think I have over 500-600 message requests. And most of them, when I just pick some random ones, it's all the same thing. How do I get started? I saw you on TikTok. I saw your video. And when I get a chance, man, I try to respond, but it's just too many at this point. So I would say, one, look into real estate wholesaling if they don't know what it is yet, right? That's the easiest, fastest way to make money in real estate investing without any money, without any credit. People usually say, how do you make your money with no real estate? If wholesaling is the first one. Second thing is, most people are close or in a major city. I would say go to your local Real Estate Investors Association or RIA. Go to your local RIA and network, see who's who. Learn about that month's meeting topic. So Charles and I, we have a RIA here in San Antonio, and we meet every month, right? If you guys are in San Antonio area, we meet every last Tuesday of the month, and every time is always a different topic, right? And when you get there, there's typically about 150, 200 people that show up every month, right? And you got some beginners, and I usually like to have everyone raise their hand and see who's new. And I would say out of every single month we do it, I would want to say about 70 to 75% of the people are new to real estate investing, or it's their first time there, right?
Okay.
So look at the RIA, join Facebook groups. Someone tagged me today on Facebook, and the question was, I heard about wholesaling. I'm ready to find a mentor who has coaching programs out there. And 2 or 3 people tagged me, and the guy's from San Antonio, right? He posted into a San Antonio real estate investing group. I was like, hey, bro, before you start asking, before you start putting yourself out there, I say, hey, I want to pay for a coach, because those comments were going, look into my program, look into this program. And you'll never see any of us, me or Charles, would promote any coaching programs online. That's a little different about us too. So I told him, hey man, you're in San Antonio, bro, show up to the RIA first, right? Show up to the monthly RIA first, see who's who, have a general idea of real estate investing, right? YouTube University, that's always a good way to go to.
Yes,
Find what you really want to do, and then move forward with it, man. Don't just pay any guru $20,000, $30,000 in coaching and mentoring when a lot of it's on YouTube, man.
Yeah, it's definitely like key to understand and study. That's what I did for like the first 6 months to a year. Every RIA meeting, every YouTube video I could find, I was there. I was in the front row. I'm like, I want to learn about this and everything. So, that's definitely advice, because a lot of times what happens is exactly what you said. Somebody says they want to get a mentor, and they go ahead and spend 10, 20, 30, $40,000 and don't learn nothing.
Right.
And the mentor's not even doing deals no more.
I hate to see it, man. Hate to see it. So you got to find someone. We do it here, right? We coach, we mentor. For us, at this point, Charles and I, we actually didn't start coaching mentoring probably like 2 years ago. Okay. We did it throughout the 10 years. Wednesday, Tuesdays, I was more focused on the business because, for those who don't want to pay, not that they don't want to pay or have a hard time, is I got to stop my business so I can show you how to do it. And for all the people that ask me, man, hey, man, let me take you to lunch, man. Let me pick your brain. Bro, I ain't got time for lunch and picking brain, man. You got to pay the plate,
He got to pay that invoice. Then you can pick my brain.
Or bring me a deal. Bring me a deal,
Yeah.
Not hey, I saw a vacant house. Nah, man, who's the vacant house? Who's the owner? What's the seller's number? Does he want to sell? And then let's learn and earn together at the same time. We both make money.
Exactly. Right. And that's funny because you get a lot of new wholesalers hitting you, because I get them all the time too. They hit me on the DM like, yo, can you mentor me? What value do you bring to me? Like, can we hop on a call? Why? Why do I want to hop on a call? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, bring me a deal, bring me something that's going to be worth me taking my time out of the day to actually help you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro, I'm down to help anybody, man, for real, man. I'm down to help anyone. And, Charles and I have been in this business 10 plus years, man. We help so many people make X amount of dollars. At the end, you get a testimony, which is cool. But, we both got to hustle, man. Right? We both got to hustle. You got to hustle. You want to get to the next level. Me doing this 10 years, the mistakes I learned, right? The ups and downs I went through, negotiations. I mean, one of the hardest things in what I do is subject twos, right? Not that subject to is hard. The hard part is convincing the seller, say, hey, seller, let me have your house, but the loan stays in your name, right? And, Charles and I have done hundreds of them at this point. So whenever I do the pitch or whenever I do the presentation, by that time I'm done with my presentation, the seller ain't got no questions.
Yeah.
The seller ain't got no questions because I perfected my craft, right? And that's how I was able to buy so many houses. And that's how I have this huge portfolio all over Texas that cash flows every month because of subject to deals and my 10 years of experience. So for me to stop what I'm doing to answer your question, and you're one of 600 people on my Facebook message request, it's tough, man. So that's what I would say. That's a good question. Go back to the original question. Man, go to your local RIAs, Facebook, YouTube University, and just simple Google, man.
Yeah, that's up. Let me ask you a question. What does your legacy look like in 10 years?
Well, the legacy already started, man. The legacy already started, and that's a good question. You said that, man, because earlier you were talking about your kids, and I got 4 kids, right? I got 3 girls and a boy, and today's actually his birthday. We talked about that before the podcast. So my little man, he's 6 years old today, and I don't want my kids watching it because I don't want them to get spoiled. But I actually have a house for each kid. Each kid already housed that they don't know about. Yeah.
Nice.
It's on a land trust. It's already cash flowing. My oldest is about to turn 18. My youngest is 4. It's going to turn 4. Okay. And each kid already has a land trust beneficiary to them that's already cash flowing, and they don't know about it, man. That's how the legacy starts, right? This whole, like I talked about earlier, when I was making 20, 30 grand in the beginning, Gucci this, Balenciaga that, because I'll be honest with you, I'm a materialistic guy. I really am.
Yeah.
All right, Charles
You
A.
work.
I am. Yeah, that's my thing, right? But then the legacy, the Balenciagas, the Gucci shoes, they run out. And my
Yeah,
thing was, if I'm
facts.
gonna spend money, I want to make money on my money, and it started with real estate. Ain't nothing powerful than real estate investing, especially the method I'm doing it, where I'm buying houses with no loans in my name, no
Mm-hmm.
credit, no bank checks, no credit checks, no verification of incomes. I'm dealing all these properties, and that portfolio that we created now, Shamus, that
Mm-hmm.
we've been doing for the last 10 years, where we have houses all over Texas,
Mm-hmm.
that's the legacy that's going to help the kids.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
that's on the kids side, the generation. On me, man, I'm 35, man. I feel like I'm just getting started, bro.
Oh, you young, man. I know
Yeah.
you don't probably know my age. I'm 48. Matter of fact, I just turned 49, bro. I know I
I thought
don't
you like,
look like it.
I thought you like 39, 41.
Yeah, everybody, man. It's funny. I go on trips with my son, and they're like, "Is that your brother?" And he was like, "Man, that's my dad. It's not my brother." I'm like, "Why are you
Pops.
hating?" You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right.
That's pops. Why are you hating? We could go chill together, and I don't look like grandpa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what type? I know you guys do the rear and everything. What type of events do you host or you're part of in San Antonio that like people could come and check out and stuff like that?
So besides the RIA, right, the Real Estate Investors Association, and that's in-house, right? So of course I got a following that is nationwide versus just San Antonio. So what Charles
Mhm.
and I decided to do is we decided to create the Alliance, man. The
Okay.
Alliance is an online private community of real estate investors, whether you're brand new or you're seasoned, right? No matter
Okay.
which one it is, you're brand new or you're seasoned, and I want to get started. I heard about wholesaling. Some people, I'll be honest with you, man. And let's go back to the other question you asked, Shamus. Not everyone wants to go out to a meeting, right? You could be an introvert. I ain't trying to go out to a
True.
RIA and there's 150, 200 people there. They're gonna ask me questions I ain't comfortable with. I want to learn on my own space, on my own time. And that's the Alliance is perfect for that, man. So we have people, I don't know, I think we have almost 80, 85 people in the Alliance. And
Okay.
we meet every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We do a
Okay.
live Zoom. We answer all questions. All questions will be answered. Throughout the week, they have access to documents, contracts, whatever they need to do what they got to do. They also have access to myself and Charles personally, right? I've been doing this for
Nice.
10. Charles been doing this about 15, 20. They have access to me and Charles personally. And on that alliance, they can ask your questions, and eventually we'll get to them by the end of the day. But that's another good tool, man. And last week, I want to give a shout out to one of my attorneys, man, Allison. Allison was a special guest we had last Wednesday, and she was answering as a real estate attorney, answering sub two questions, which she's the one that closes all our sub twos. It's a difference,
Okay.
right? You're part of the
Yeah.
alliance, and you got someone like Allison, who that's what she's done. She's primarily done, in my opinion, one of the best ones in Texas as real estate attorney for sub twos, creative financing, wraparounds. So we had access to her. We got a special guest. We had David Olds. If you guys don't know who David Olds is, one of the big dispo guys in the nation. He was answering the questions. So the alliance, man, the alliance is it's good,
Mhm.
man. It's a monthly thing that we do and a weekly thing that we do, and get access no matter where you're at. So
That's what's up, yeah, and that's very important, man. And it's probably super affordable, which nowadays, what a lot of gurus out there that they don't
right,
understand that a lot of people are just getting started. They don't have a big chunk of money to dump into learning. So by having something that's beneficial, like cost effective wise, you could impact more people. And I believe in impact over
right.
everything. You know what I'm
But I'll
saying?
tell you the price, bro. I ain't scared of the price, man. The price is $99 a month. I'll tell you right now,
That's
man. For $99 a month, you get access to myself and Charles, 10 years of business, 10 years of experience.
man.
Answering yourself two questions, creative. Man, I'm telling you, the
I,
reason. Well, one, we just started this probably about 6 weeks ago, to be honest with you. And we
mhm.
really haven't pushed it. So this podcast is being one of the first podcasts where I actually talk about it live on the podcast.
Now, yeah, $99, man. I'll pay that 10 times. I'll throw you a rack a
Right?
month,
I'm
man.
telling
Just let
you.
me
I'm telling you, man,
easily,
$99, man.
easily.
And it probably won't stay at that number for a long time, but $99 a month, man, gets you access to the alliance, myself, the documents, contracts, sub twos, creative
Mhm.
financing, the scaling, right? How do you scale a company from me and Charles to 20 individuals, right? So
What do you think the most important thing is when it comes to scaling? Like, what do you have to have under control? Definitely, I know your KPIs, but do you
right.
think it's like the structure or the system, and then you got to get everybody to buy into it? What do you think the hardest part is about scaling?
With scaling is putting the right people in the right place, right? And then me being in the Army for 12 years, when I was in the Army for 12 years, I took a lot of that tactics in the beginning, right? I took a lot of the Army tactics and leadership styles that I got from the Army. And when Charles and I first started, it was just two guys. When you put two guys together, you had two different characters, two different personalities. All right. And Charles has like 20 years on me. So there's two different generations. But when you've got systems in place, it really catapulted Charles and I to the next level where, hey, we have a nice portfolio. We're getting paid cash flow every month on time. Set yourself up first to make sense. That way you can worry about others. I mean, so at the end of the day, and I tell people this now, I'm here at the office. I tell people, or especially my team, which is Charles and Frank. I tell Charles and Frank, man, my number one priority, man, it's not even properties no more, to be honest with you. We already got the houses, right? And we have quite a few all over Texas. We already got the houses. We already got the cash flow. It's helping these individuals that are in the office, man.
Yeah.
We got some good guys in here, man, and it's on them who's just getting started, who's part of the first wholesale deal. You got some closing one wholesale deal a month. You got some that's closing 4 or 5 a month, right? You got to get the right systems in place, right processes, and the right people, man.
Yeah, that's extremely important, man. And I mean, from a cultural standpoint, when the owner of the company wants to see the individuals win, that's super important. I was watching something the other day, and they was telling a story. They said there was this guy. It was a new guy that came into the company, right? And the owner takes him. He says, "Come on, let's walk downstairs in the parking lot." And he's telling him, like, "Hey, you're the new guy. You're supposed to break all of the numbers and everything." And he says, "You see that over there?" And it was a Ferrari. He said, "You see the spot next to it?" And he's like, "Yeah." He said, "I'll be able to park my second Ferrari there if you do what you're supposed to do."
I saw that video. I seen that video, man. I saw that video.
That's how it be. But when you really care about the people that sit at the table for you, it's like it's an alliance. Like you said, it's an alliance of warriors that they want to see Mike, they want to see Charles win. And I think that's extremely, extremely important, man.
Yeah, like I said, man, and we talked about this earlier, man. We asked me to do the podcast. I haven't done a podcast in a while, man. It's probably about 1.5 years, almost 2 years. Charles been doing them, man. Charles likes doing them and likes to share that, man. But I was like, man, just been focused on the office, man. Focused on myself, So, one, again, I appreciate having me on this podcast. But yeah, without the team, without the certified hustlers in the office, man, it's just Mike and Charles. And we say this in all of our meetings that we have in house. Nobody works for us, man. They all work with us. That's the difference.
Sir.
That's the culture difference here at HBH. I don't know how other wholesaling companies do it, but no one works for us, man. You got the deal, right? Of course, we provide the office and everything we need. But that cold caller, he got the lead, And he's working with the transaction coordinator who's working with Dispo, who's being overseen by the COO to get everything sold. All working together to get one deal sold and making the seller happy and get him on to the next level. So they work with us, man, not for us.
Yeah, that's key. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a morning routine? Like, how does your morning start off?
So me personally, man, again, probably not the standard, guru. Hey, this is what you want to hear, man. I go to the gym. I wake up at 4 a.m. and I read a book. I just get up. I do my daily tasks that I got to do. My number one thing is, what do I got to do that's going to make money, right?
Okay.
ADO, right? Whatever my task is for the day, that, hey, this is making money, this is priority, right?
Yeah.
That's for me, number one. And then second is whatever my Frank, who's the CEO, and Charles needs for the office in general, because Charles really runs the office for the most part, along with Frank. I'm more behind the scenes doing the flips. The portfolio, I manage the portfolio. We're looking to add more to the portfolio. So Charles and Frank are really running the office as a wholesaling operation. But I don't consider HBHS as a wholesaling company. I consider HBHS as a real estate investment company. Because when we do rentals, Airbnbs, multifamilies, flips. So my thing is on a day-to-day basis is, one, come in, right? Of course, I help out with the wholesaling. But one is the money-making activities.
Yeah.
Whatever's going to generate money, that's my number one priority. Because I got systems in place like Frank, my boy Ray. I got Dispo in place. We got acquisition in place. They need to run the office. They got it, right? So my job is to help them get better with KPIs, better leads, better data, better systems, better processes. So if that's going to affect the money, that's my number one priority. And then to be honest, day by day goes. And at this point, what I was telling you earlier, Shamus, 12 years, real estate for 12 years, man, I'm looking at the next thing. So kind of exploring other opportunities, man, other ventures. And that's was taking a little of my time as well.
Yeah, sure. We evolve, man. As it's like when we start something, we get obsessed with it. And this is what I realized with me. I used to start companies, get them to 7 figures, and was like, I don't want to do this no more, and close it down. And my boys would be like, yo, you're crazy. I'm like, yo, I'm tired of doing it. And when I get tired of doing something,
right,
and I don't want to do it no more. And when you're creative, I always say, if you don't use your creativity, that leads to insanity. Like, you got so many ideas you're thinking and you're stuck in a box and like, I'm only investing in real estate. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I think after time, you definitely get burnt out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I would say so, man. So I mean, flips, done the flips. I mean, yeah, just wanted something different, man. Something different for sure. But
That's what's up.
real estate's not going to go nowhere, man. Real estate's always going to be my number one priority, my number one passion. So.
Yeah. So, hey, I appreciate you coming in. Tell everybody where they can find you. Mention your course and mentor, like where they can find you at and everything. I'm going to plug everything in the description below on all of the platforms. Your links and everything going to be there. But tell them where they can find you. The Alliance, the RIA, the floor is yours, brother.
One, again, man, before we get into that, bro, honor for you to ask me to be on the podcast. Educate to Elevate means more than you think, to be honest with you, man.
Thank you.
So, one, I appreciate that. Two, man, IG is probably the easiest, man. Everyone can follow me on Instagram at TurnUpTheHustle. When you go at TurnUpTheHustle on IG, I got the link in my bio. Give you all the social medias, give you the Alliance, give you the 5,000 property records for free. So I just tell everyone, go to the IG at TurnUpTheHustle, and then TikTok's a little different. TikTok has the educational videos. IG is the stories, what we're doing on a daily basis. Access to the RIA, access to the Alliance, and getting those 5,000 records, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So everybody, make sure you check my man Mike Hustle out. I've been following you. Like, we've been friends a couple of years, but the first time I seen you was on Steve's. I appreciate you taking the time because I know you're a busy man. You got a lot going on, but I definitely appreciate you, man. Everybody, make sure y'all click the link in the bio. Make sure you watch the episode on all platforms. Check out my mic, and we'll catch you in the next episode.